One of the things we have to do first is to push all the pins in. So let me show you what I'm using. Okay, so that's a pin push, I call them push me pull yous, because with that little hook, let's see if we can go in a bit closer. So with that little hook, you can go and you can either push a pin in or you can pull it out. So that's a push me pull you. This is the other pin tool that you can use with pins. So you've got a pusher at that end that fits over the pin and you can push down, and on that end you've got a hook so you can put it over the top and pull the pin back up again. I'm just going to show you how this one works. As you can see, it's quite easy. I just want the last row of pins. So if I've got one that's not on the last row, it needs to come out. So let's push some of these down. It's much easier to sew in ends or join lace together if you've actually got it still attached to the pillow. I've tried both ways and it's much easier if it's still attached to the pillow. As you can see, all the pins are now down. I've got all my threads here, and what we need to do is one pair at a time. We take the threads out. Let's get my very sharp pair of scissors. Cut off a long thread. And we have one pair here that's knotted, that went in up there, and I'm going to sew that pair in along here. Use a crochet hook and let me pull right in close to that. That's a 0.5 crochet hook, so you can use that. Let's get that in a little bit more. That's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is with a Lazy Susan, and that is basically a sewing needle in a handle with the eye sticking out, and through the eye you place a very thin thread. Now I've got two. One has got a longer foot on it than the other. I'm going to use my older one today. So that's what we use, and what we're going to do is we're going to thread this pair through the pinholes up here. We need to go up 2 or 3, so we'll use up some of this space here. What you can't see in this shot is my magnifying glass, and I use a small magnifying glass so that I can see what I'm doing, but it changes the focus on the camera. So what we need to do is we need to go down through a stitch, bring it up, grab your crochet hook, pull your threads through. Be careful of the crochet hook, it is very, very sharp. It's like having a pin. Come on, through you come. Right, now it's through the thread. I can pull the thread tight, and as I come back through the stitch, I bring the threads with me. And then you just take the threads away from the Lazy Susan. And you've gone through that stitch. Right, I'm actually going to split these now. And I'm going to take this one through this stitch here. Again, push it through, get a loop in the thread. Using your crochet hook, hook the thread through the loop, pull the loop tight and pull it through. Okay, I'll do one more on this stitch, on this thread. So I'm going to go through this one here, following the line that the thread actually took on it way down in the first place. Right, through the pinhole. Doesn't want to go through that one. Through the pinhole. Create a loop. There's my crochet hook on. Make the loop bigger. And then pull your thread. I think my fingers are probably getting in the way, I'm sorry about this. Pull the thread through the loop. Pull the loop tight and pull it back through. I've finished all the sewing in except for these, which I'm going to leave because I'm going to do something with those. So here are all my ends, and what I've got to do is to cut the ends off. Now, because I'm not exhibiting this piece, I can actually fray check it. So let me show you one, how I'm going to do it. I'll start on this side. And you can see where it comes out here. So what I'm going to do is get my fray check. And I'm going to put a tiny little dot where the lace joins, where the thread joins the lace. Tiny little dot. So there we go. And then I'm going to take my scissors, same scissors I use for joining threads, and it's the same technique. So I take the thread, lift it up and away from everything. And then I just come in on top and clip the thread. Okay, as you can see, they've all gone now, so we've got all the ends sewn in, and I can start taking the pins out. When I take pins out from a pattern, I start with every other pin and I work all the way around, and that way I'm not pulling on the pattern. And especially when I've pushed them all the way down as I have in this one, I'm not actually stressing and stretching pattern. Okay, we're left with our last few pins. Again, I'm going to take them off carefully, side by side. So that I'm just left with the corner pins. Take these edges out. As you can see, it's coming free. Take the last 3 pins out. Hold the lace down, take out the last pin, and there we have our lace free.